The climax of any given Premier League season typically revolves around two main storylines: the title race and the pursuit of European football. Let's be honest, no one really cares about the relegation battle. But what about all the action happening in between? The term mid-table has long been used to describe teams that aren't vying for meaningful league positions nor facing the danger of relegation. However, the dynamic this season has been starkly different. With Manchester City experiencing an unexpectedly rough season, the usual ups and downs from Manchester United, and Tottenham being, well, Tottenham, the standout narratives this season have emerged from the Premier League's middle ranks, whose impressive exploits have raised the league's overall quality and competitiveness to new heights. So, how have these mid-table clubs done it? As the gap between the Premier League and the Championship continues to widen, clubs in the former can often find themselves leaning on a sense of security in their status, while enjoying the substantial commercial benefits that come with competing in England's top division. However, true to the nature of competition, there is every chance this false sense of security can foster complacency, especially among clubs that grow too relaxed and allow more ambitious rivals to overtake them. This season in particular, we've seen several mid-table clubs rise above their usual standings, thanks to their bold playing styles, recruitment strategies, and managerial decisions. Brighton and Brentford usually come to mind when thinking about these types of teams, ones that embrace a young, ambitious manager while deploying smart, data-driven recruitment strategies to acquire affordable talent aligned with their overall vision. If executed properly, it's also an approach that helps them thrive financially, buying players for cheap, selling them for higher fees, and reinvesting those funds back into the team. Both Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth have also made significant strides in their performances and league standing. Forest in particular have transformed from relegation candidates to top 4 contenders within a year, driven by smart signings and a strong commitment to their manager's philosophy of playing fast and physical, even without the ball. For all the questions asked of their recruitment strategy following promotion, Forest have since become a blueprint for Championship sides on how to navigate the step up to the Premier League. Their initial spending spree may have seemed haphazard, but it was grounded in the necessity of filling their ranks with more Premier League-ready players. While not every deal has turned out well, for every signing like Jesse Lingard or Jonjo Shelvey, there have been valuable additions like Murillo and Anthony Elanga to restore the balance. Bournemouth's rise, on the other hand, has been steady since their promotion in 2022. The appointment of Andoni Iraola as manager the following year played a crucial role in their improvement and is the type of foreign, tactically astute coach that many Premier League teams are now seeking. Even during a challenging injury crisis earlier this year, where their bench against Newcastle on matchday 22 had a mere 39 combined Premier League appearances, they still hammered their opponents 4-1 before doing the same to Nottingham Forest in the following game. These clubs are just a few examples of mid-table teams that have surpassed expectations, but they illustrate just how much and quickly they can alter the Premier League standings. A look at the mid-table finishes over the past 5 seasons reinforces this point. For instance, Newcastle have finished above mid-table only once in the last 5 seasons, achieving a 4th place finish in the 2022-23 season. Despite statistically being the most quote-unquote mid-team during this period, they're currently in the race for European football and only recently knocked Arsenal out of the Carabao Cup to set up a final against Liverpool, their second final appearance in the competition in 3 years. If you ask Newcastle fans, most would likely be happy with the club's current performance and ambition. In contrast, despite being tied with Newcastle with the most mid-table appearances in the past 5 seasons, Wolves find themselves in 17th place, just above the relegation zone. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, subscribe so that you don't miss out on our future videos. The 2010s were without a doubt the peak of the Big Six power axes. Yet, as a bald Dutchman from United once said, eras come to an end, and it wasn't long before most of these clubs ran into real adversity. Fast forward to today, and the Big Six are now facing more challenging tests on the pitch against the rest of the league. While the doom and gloom hanging over clubs like United and Spurs illustrate a particularly drastic season of change, the decline in their performance has certainly not happened overnight. In fact, the Big Six have only finished as the top 6 just once in the last 5 seasons. Recent surprise packages in the top 4 include Newcastle, who finished 4th in the 2022-23 season and secured a return to the Champions League after a 20-year absence. Aston Villa followed suit in the following season by edging out Tottenham to claim the last Champions League spot, a competition in which they have now qualified for the quarterfinals. If Nottingham Forest continue their current trajectory until the end of this season, it will mark the 3rd consecutive season in which outsiders have broken into the top 4, let alone the top 6. A shift in dominance is evident, with television money from the league's lucrative broadcasting deals starting to flow to the other 14 clubs, and the profit and sustainability rules creating a more level playing field. Moreover, there's a strong possibility that the Premier League could feature 5 teams in the Champions League next season, causing a trickle-down effect that would allow 8 English clubs to qualify for European competitions, which ultimately adds an extra layer of intrigue to the mid-table battle. To watch our video debating whether the Premier League's Big Six era is truly over, click the first link in the description or the card in the top right corner. A growing number of well-run mid-table clubs are showing what can be achieved by recruiting smartly and playing to a system. While a shock in the current title race seems unlikely, there is real strength in depth in the Premier League's middle tier this season. This season isn't quite like the 2015-16 season, but it does share some parallels. Leicester's title success, while extraordinary, effectively acted as a reset for the Big Six clubs after nearly all of them experienced disappointing campaigns for the first time in recent memory. And, as it turned out, Leicester's triumph spurred these clubs into action. They had won the league with 81 points, but since then, no team has claimed the title with fewer than 86 points, while only twice have the champions finished with fewer than 90. With Liverpool poised to secure the title this season without needing an excessive points total, the rise of a strong middle class has certainly helped equalize the league and restore the balance of power. And what will be even more fascinating to observe in the coming seasons is whether the rest of the Big Six can come back stronger, as they did in the 2016-17 season, or if they will succumb to the rising challenge from the mid-table pack. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more football news, stories, and insights. Also, don't forget to hit notifications so you never miss a beat. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.